Welcome back, Shalloners. Well, today we are going to talk about Lea Michele. I know, what year is it? 2010? Who cares? Well, there might be a reason you haven't seen or heard much from Lea Michele over the last, decade since Glee ended. It's because, apparently, she's kind of a dick. Samantha Ware came out saying a whole bunch of tea about Lea Michele, and now it's become this kind of domino effect of people saying, yeah, she was a nightmare to work with, she terrorized people, she's unpleasant, blah, 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 blah. So we're gonna break down some of the behind the scenes stuff that's going on there. I'll tell you what I've heard about Lea Michele, but more importantly, we're gonna get something out of this ourselves, because we all have had, or will have, a Lea Michele, a bully who is just, and you can't get away from them. It's one thing if the bully is at school or in your friend group and you can kind of annex them out, but what do you do if they're in your workplace? So we're gonna talk about bullying in general. I'm gonna give you 9 scientifically based ways to deal with a bully. They are not what you would assume. I was very surprised to discover a lot of this information. And we're gonna learn how to take control of our lives, because one thing you gotta remember about bullies, they can ruin your life, they can ruin your self-esteem and make it very difficult for you to live your authentic life, be your best self, and be an alpha on your own. We'll talk about it. We'll break it all down. But first, just want to remind you that if you have a love question of your own, you want to connect with me privately, find me on my website, shallonlester.com, and click Get Help. Also, if you would like a video shout out or an answer to a question that way, find me on Cameo at ShallonXO, and be sure to follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO. You guys weighed in on this topic, so this is all y'all. This is all of y'all doing this. I love it. Thank you. And you get some daily inspiration and some stuff on my channel. My Instagram as well. So let's talk about, first, where am I? I moved to Montana. I let you guys guess on my Instagram, and 2 of you guys got it right. So you guys are going to be getting a gift basket from me of Montana goods. I hope you are into an entire freezer full of moose meat, because that's what you're fucking getting. No, but I'm going to do a video about why I moved from Manhattan to Montana, why I went from the big city to big sky. I'm going to be doing a whole video on that, breaking it down, because it's a huge life shift. I'm also going to be doing videos on dating in a small town. It is crazy. We'll get there. But let's for now talk about Lea Michele. I have never liked her. She reminded me of a girl who bullied me when I was in 7th grade. They had the same nose. And it's like she just hated me for no reason. That's how bullies are. They just hate you for no reason. Although, studies have shown that the reason a bully picks on you is because they have perceived you as weak. Neurotic people, and that's defined as like anxious people who can't calm themselves down, people who ruminate too much, they don't have like self-soothing mechanisms, are more likely to be bullied. The bully perceives them as weaklings, it's tough. And that's why I believe, and I've always said, bullies respond to strength, but we're going to break it down. So Samantha Ware, she used to be on Glee with Lea, and she tweeted in all caps, so many caps. And when a tweet is all caps and starts with LMAO, there's something coming. There's a hurricane coming down the pipeline. So Lea tweeted something in support of Black Lives Matter, okay? And Samantha came back with LMAO. I won't shout it, even though that's what caps sound like in our mind. Remember when you made my first television gig a living hell? Because I'll never forget. I believe you told everyone that if you had the opportunity, you would shit in my wig, amongst other traumatic microaggressions that made me question a career in Hollywood. Shit in her wig? What are you, a chihuahua? That is a weapon for a dog. They are fecal terrorists. That's the only thing they've got going for them, is where they poop and pee and when. And if that is how you behave as an adult human, maybe we should kennel you as well. So Lea issued a statement apologizing for her behavior. The responses I received to what I posted made me also focus specifically on how my own behavior towards fellow cast members was perceived by them. Right there. We can stop right there. There is nothing more grating in this world than an apology that's, sorry you feel that way. Sorry you're so crazy that you're all mad I sucked your boyfriend's dick. Like, sorry you have such a problem with me punching your dad. It's such like, it's gaslighting. It's gaslighting. Like, oh, you perceived it. I'm not sure that there's a positive way to perceive someone saying they're going to shit in your wig. If you come after my fake hair, if you come after my clip-in extensions, I don't have any now, but when I did, that's why I didn't ever get in fights, because I'm like, if someone pulls my extensions out, my life is over. I'm going to kill myself. So just come out. Awful. While I don't remember ever making this specific statement, I have never judged others by their background or color of their skin. That's not really the point. What is she talking about? What matters is that I clearly acted in ways which hurt other people. This was all over the place. This is so non-linear. It's like someone describing a dream. I don't remember making that specific statement. Like, if you actually didn't say it, be like, I didn't fucking say that. I didn't say that. That's crazy. I would never shit in someone's wig. But it's like, I don't remember what I said, but I probably said something dickish. And it's insulting to the victim of the bullying, because it's like, you know what? You probably don't even remember this. You probably don't, because you were such a blanket asshole all the time that I was just one of many wigs you shat upon, right? Like, and that's what's so awful about bullies and like sexual harassers and rapists and stuff. It's like, oh, who are you? Like, who am I? You ruined my life and you don't even remember me. You don't even remember me, you know? I don't know if you guys watched the Jeffrey Epstein doc, but at one point, like, lawyers are questioning him, like, do you remember Virginia Jones or whatever her name is? And he's like, spell it. And he's like, common spelling, Virginia Jones. He's like, he sounded out for me. He's like, do you remember her or not? And he's like, no. And she was like, of course he doesn't remember me. I was literally one of thousands of people. So not like Lea Michele is the Jeffrey Epstein of the Glee community, but you know, but it's interesting how people who hurt us so deeply, like, they never even think of it. Not that, oh, they didn't mean to, like, they didn't think of it, it was offhanded. No, because one thing, and we'll talk about this later, is bullying it's not a my bad, it's a systematic thing that they plan. I mean, they don't have the whiteboard murder board in their apartment, but they target someone and they're like, I'm going to be mean to them today. I'm in a bad mood. Who can I take it out on? You, Lisa. It's not accidental. So since then, so many of her co-stars came out. She's terrible to work with. She calls the extras cockroaches. Her understudy in a play when they were younger, and she would make this poor little thing cry. Awful. Awful. As you know, I've worked in celebrity journalism forever. I have never heard one good thing about Lea Michele. Never. One reporter at Us Weekly was like, her attitude does not match that face, honey. You're going to be a monster. You better be hot. And I was like, that's not inaccurate. He's not wrong. So let's talk about bullies. It's so hard to know what to do with bullies. And I've been reading a lot about it. And I was reading about workplace bullies. And they said that a recent study came out, and it was published in a paper that was in the Journal of Violence and Aggression. And they said that they tried like 8 different ways of preventing bullying, like basically intervening with the bully to try to clip this behavior. And do you know how many of those tactics worked? 0. The best they got was a slight abatement of incivility, which is like sarcasm, rudeness. And, you know, that's something. Like, if someone's not rude to me and sarcastic anymore, like, okay, that's a step in the right direction, but there's a billion different ways to bully someone and intimidate someone, right? So that being said, they're like, there was a lot of ways for the victim to deal with it, but in terms of stopping the bully and changing them, it doesn't work. And it's a very interesting debate in the psychology community and just in the sociological community about what creates a bully. And for a while, people thought, oh, they just need love. They're really hurt. Hurt people. Yeah, sometimes, but by and large, bullies do not have low self-esteem. They have very high self-esteem. A lot of times they're psychopaths, they're sociopaths, they're malignant narcissists. I think we can look at Lea Michele with a high certainty that there's some narcissistic personality disorder at play there, you know? And one of the people her understudy who worked with her, someone was like, what were her parents like? Were her parents jerks? And she's like, no, her parents were lovely. I think they were afraid of her too. And that was such an interesting glimpse into her psychology, because, you know, this is what happens when you have a child star. And it's like, Yeah, how do you tell them that it's their bedtime? You know what they come back with? Really, that's funny because I paid this fucking electric bill, so the lights go off when I say so, Dad. Okay, Leah, please don't hurt me. That's a very real thing. So, Leah also got so much validation at such a young age. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Absolute compliments corrupt absolutely. She was very successful. She didn't have a lot of rejection in the Hollywood and in the theater industry. She did really, really well, and that creates a monster. Adversity is what shapes us in a positive way. You know, pressure is what makes the diamond. And she kind of stayed a big ass dirty lump of coal in terms of adversity. So, knowing what we know about bullies and how they're irredemptive, you're not going to change them, and they're not just like, they just need a hug and a cup of soup. No, they don't. Let's talk about what we can do. So I was reading this article by Dr. Eileen Hendrickson, and she has a podcast called The Savvy Psychologist. Sounds interesting. And she delineated 9 tips. And some of them are like, okay, common sense, what you would expect, not common sense, but what you would expect. But some of them are going to blow your mind. Tip number 1, don't blame yourself. She said, it's them, it's not you. There's nothing you did to deserve this. Well, previous studies have contradicted that. Like I said, it's overwhelmingly people who get bullied display a degree of neurosis, So that's why it's very important for us to tackle our anxiety, our low self-esteem, our weak spots, those psychological splinters that I talk about, so that we are more bully-proof. And it's because it becomes this awful cycle. It's like, I already feel anxious in this new job. I feel like the odd man out. And here comes Karen, asshole of the century, to bully me. And now I feel worse. It's like you can't dig yourself out of that emotional hole very easily, which, so we have to kind of always be working on our self-esteem, doing esteemable things, helping other people, having goals and hobbies, having thriving friendships, fixing childhood trauma, going to therapy, so that we got all our defenses in place, right? So that this jerk comes along, we do not read as the one. But sometimes you already are. And sometimes, no matter how confident you are, there's someone who's just a little bit bigger in terms of being crazy, and who's like, I'm going to hold you down. People like bully. I'm an adult, so I don't ever say that, like, I'm cyberbullied, I'm bullied. I'm an adult and I can take care of myself, okay? But what people have said and done to me definitely falls under that category. And like, I don't think it's because I'm weak. I think it's because I'm a threat. There's a very big difference, I've said before, people don't hate you for who you are. They don't hate you for where you are now. They hate you for where you're going. So sometimes that's exactly what a bully does. They're holding you down because they're afraid of you. I firmly believe that the reason I got laid off at Star was because I was just making a little bit too much noise, standing up for other people. I was a little bit too much of a dissenter. I was talking a little bit too much about what we should be doing versus what we were doing. I think, look, we could just cut her. The budget doesn't work. 2 birds, 1 stone. I've always thought that. And you know what? I don't regret it. I don't regret standing up for other people. I don't regret standing up for myself. No one wants to be laid off. No one wants to be sort of expelled from this world that you knew. But had that not happened, I wouldn't have focused all my time and energy on this channel, and I wouldn't be where I am today. Making almost quadruple what I used. Anyway, point of the moral of the story is Shallon wins. Okay. So number 1, don't blame yourself. Tip number 2, correct the bully. If someone comes at you with like a nickname you don't like, shut it down right away. Please don't call me Big Tuna. My name is Shallon. And it doesn't have to be dramatic. And it definitely shouldn't be presented as a joke or you being nervous. Like, I don't love being called Bubbles when my name is Catherine. I don't want to be called Jiggles either. Can we just go, nope. Because they will interpret that nervousness or that jokiness, again, as weakness. It has to be like, don't call me Jiggles, Jeff. My name's Catherine. Because if you shut people down at the beginning, it's a lot easier than trying to wind it back. Like I've said, the time to build a fence is not when you already see the enemy advancing on your property. You build it way before. You know exactly where that property line is. No one's coming to fuck with you. And if they do, they're going to have to get over a fence. Tip number 3, don't let the bully know they're getting under your skin. So I'm going to read verbatim what Eileen says because it's smart. Contrary to what you might hear, if the bully is persistent and entrenched, like they are doing this, don't confront them. You read that right. Don't confront them. Why? It doesn't work. Bullying is a thought out campaign, not a, my bad, sorry about it. And a confrontation only shows that the bully has gotten under your skin. And you know what that shows them? More weakness. Now, I do believe that there are cases when it's okay to confront a bully. I think in a social setting, like if you have a Reese Witherspoon mean girl, and we talked about this, if it's like, what did you say, Reese? What did you say down there at the end of the table? I think you just called me cheap because I didn't want to buy another bottle of wine. Is that what you said? Or did you just call me fat because I ate the rest of my biscuit? I'm just trying to get a grip on what it is you said out loud. I believe there's a way to present information. It's not the message, it's the medium, that displays strength versus weakness. If you're like, wait, what did you say? Did you just call me fat? That's so mean. What did you call me fat for? That displays weakness. If it's don't speak to me like that. That to me displays strength. But again, it's like you got to feel out the situation, and you also have to do what's authentic to you. I'm confrontational because I practiced it. It's like anything else. You've got to practice standing up for yourself in order to be good at it. And I have practiced, and I practice on other people. I practice by standing up for other people so that when I'm attacked, I think, well, if this was my best friend and it wasn't me being attacked, I would stand up for her. So why am I not standing up for me? Here we go. But it's tough. It's not easy and it's not fun. And you're not going to win every fight. And we can talk about this more as the video goes on, but it's about fighting for yourself in the first place. I lost the battle with Star. I got laid off. Star is still there. I mean, not for long. You just wait. But at the time, it felt like I lost the battle. I feel like I won the war because I'm doing well and I'm thriving on my own and I don't answer to anybody but, the entire internet. But, I stood up for myself. I can look myself in the eye. I can look my coworkers in the eye and be like, I fought for you. And you know what? You don't win every battle, but I can sleep easy knowing that my integrity is there and I walk it like I talk it. So I feel good about that. Tip number 4, fight the healthy way. So a lot of people who have been bullied, this comes from a study in 2013, 600 bullied workers, employees, were asked, how did you take care of yourself, And they were like, I withdrew. I started drinking and eating poorly. Researchers holy shit, really? And they're like, yep. 25% of people, only 25% reported doing things that were healthy. Meditation, therapy, looking around for other jobs, deepening their friendships, all the things that we've talked about. But for the most part, people do withdraw. Why? You don't want to risk more persecution. You just want to hole up. You don't want to stick your neck out there for yourself, for anybody else, even if it's I want to go out and see my friends, even if they have nothing to do with the bully's at work and your friends don't interact with this at all. It's just this feeling of vulnerability. It's the feeling of being under attack. And it's fight or flight, So if this is happening to you, make a very conscious effort to do healthy things to combat it in your own life where you can. Number 5. Take the issue seriously. And again, I'm going to read straight from Eileen. You may be tempted to go to your boss or the bully's boss, but consider going higher. Why? Often, the bosses know exactly what's going on because the bully has spent time sucking up and kissing ass, so they're ingratiated to authority. We see this so much. The bully at my office was the pet of the owner of the company, the absolute teacher's pet, couldn't tell him nothing. And that's the thing. It was the owner of the company. We're a small company and there were simply no more rungs on the ladder. And let me tell you something. It's very tempting to go to HR, but what you need to know about HR is they don't give a fuck about your feelings. They are there to prevent lawsuits. Lawsuits. Not tears, not ouchy, cold, prickly insults, lawsuits. So if you go to HR, you go using legal terms. Sexual harassment, gender discrimination, racial inequality, pay gap. You go with the buzzwords that are making go, lawsuit, and you say, hey, I'm not afraid to pursue this as much as possible. I'm not afraid to make a big noise about this. Talk more about this. To bypass this, go 2 or 3 levels higher because you got to go past where the sucking up is happening. Keep going. Go up as high as you possibly can. Go up as high as you possibly can. And when you get a meeting, don't bring up your feelings. See? Don't ramble on about what the bully did to you. Keep it straightforward and low on emotion. Rehearsing your story beforehand with friends, family, or your therapist will help you stay calm and collected. Instead of using the term bully, because it's very like, me bully, which is again why I don't use that term. It's like, I'm an adult, I can take care of myself. Use the term abuse, harassment, both of which have legal connotations and are less dismissible by higher ups. Eileen, we're still on the same page here. Bully can be seen as juvenile, and then people will dismiss that as an emotional problem. It's like, all right, like Catherine and Karen don't like each other. I'm not the happiness police, like I'm HR. And my tip with HR, you become a mosquito. Every microaggression, you're there, you're writing it up, you're sending an email, you're talking to people, here, I got it on camera, here, again. Because the thing that stood out to me with the Lea Michele thing is how she treated her underling, how she treated literally her understudy, smaller cast members on Glee, extras in the theater community. And all of those people were in very vulnerable positions, not because they were neurotic and crazy, but because they were legitimately vulnerable. Like, oh, an extra on a Broadway show who's like, thanking God that they got this big break to be like in the background of Wicked or something, making like $100 a week. Oh, are they gonna go to the director and be like, your star, who's like 1 in a million, sucks, so she's hurting my feelings? They'll be like, interesting. How about you come back not ever again? Like, who are they gonna side with? It's going to be the bigger fish. So you gotta just be micro. Hey, today this happened. Hey, how are you? Today this happened. Hey, we've got an affidavit from someone. Hey, this happened. You know, I'm just reporting the news, people. I'm just reporting the news. This could lead to a lawsuit. This could lead to some really bad press for the musical. A lot of people have been talking about going to the New York Post and talking about it. I've been trying to talk them out of it. You want to align yourself with their side. You want to let the boss know, hey, I feel for you. I know that you're not the problem, but I'm not the problem either. I know who the problem is. It's Lea. That's who the problem is. Most importantly, be ready to talk about the problem in terms of the bottom line. Emphasize that the bully's behavior is costing the business in terms of time, money, performance, morale. Hey, because so-and-so was in the bathroom crying, we couldn't get to the tap scene and we're all like working later, that's costing money. I would try to do that at Star. We had this photo editor who was fucking useless. And I was always like emailing the higher ups to be like, he took a 3-hour lunch. He's not working now. He's not sending things over. This is delaying production by XYZ, which is costing us $30,000 if we go over time, and it has the last 3 months. So therefore, if he keeps up this behavior, this is going to cost us aggregate $1.3 million in a year. Does this company have an extra $1.3 million? And look, at the end of the day, he still works there and I don't. Like, sucks for him. But they made their choice. And it's like, again, sometimes all you can do is all you can do. But I stood up for myself. I did the right thing. And that made me feel powerful in a situation where I felt like I had been stripped of all of my power, all of my autonomy. And, you know, I needed that. I needed that for my self-esteem. You know, like I was meditating or whatever, but I just the kind of person I am, I need to stand up for myself. I'm an Aquarius. You know how I feel about injustices. I know you Aquarians feel that way too. And I'm just kind of a fucking loudmouth. Like I don't like it when people are getting away with shit. You're going to hear about it from me. Tip number 6, mediation, not the answer, as it turns out. One solution higher-ups might offer you is mediation. Well, okay, look, let's sit down together. Nope, no, absolutely not. Nope, because that's just, again, going to tell the bully, ha ha ha, I got under your skin. You're so weak. You have to sit down with HR and me. You can't talk to me alone, pussy. That's what they're going to think about you. And you'd be like, no, I'm not. You guys are going to handle this. I have a job to do, and this is actually not my job. My job is in accounting. My job is on the factory floor. You guys can deal with this. Okay? So here's what some of Eileen's tips. Request other solutions like a transfer for the bully, disciplinary action, at the very least an investigation with protection for you. Maybe you need to get redistributed, shuffled around, work different shifts. If you get none of these things, which is unfortunately probable, start planning your exit. I told you before that I had a boss who is a textbook psychopath. And I read a book about it, Taming Taming a Toxic Boss, I think it was. And I thought, oh, I'm going to get like all these great tips. You know what the tip was? Keep your head down and get a new job. That was, you don't need to read the book. There it is. Keep your head down and get a new job. A bully's not going to change. A psychopath doesn't grow a conscience. A narcissist doesn't usually dial things down at all. If anything, they dial things up. So sticking it out and martyring yourself, look, I know it's unfair to be like, oh, I have to go get a new job. Why do I have to go get a new job? I'm not saying it's fair, but what you want is peace. Peace is the win. Sticking it out just for the sake of doing it, as my grandmother used to say, my Southern grandmother, you're just cutting off your nose to spite your face. And it's so true. Like, I stuck it out at stars, like, no, they just don't get to win. I'm not the wrong person. But looking back, I'm like, I wish I'd left a year before. I wish I had an extra year of this channel that I was doing full time. But hindsight's 2020. Just acknowledge that you're doing the best that you can in the moment, for sure. Tip number 7, buy yourself some time with ego boosting. Do things that are going to make you happy. Basically, it's too long, didn't read of that. Number 8, again, get the fuck out of there. According to a 2007 survey commissioned by the Workplace Bullying Institute, can you imagine having to work there? 62% of employers did nothing about a bully in their offices. It can be tempting to stay because of pride, a sense of justice, yes, or sheer inertia. But in some cases, the safest and healthiest thing to do is leave. If you work in a large organization, you may transfer, especially if your bully or mean girl is the head honcho. Discreetly look for a job then and fly far, far away. And last but not least, don't be a bystander. What is an alpha? A pack builder. Got it. You got it. An alpha, female or male, isn't just a pack leader. They are a pack builder. And at the time when I was going through that with my old job, standing up for people and rabble rousing, I didn't feel like an alpha. I felt like I was walking into battle with no armor. I felt like I was Joan of Arc being led to the cross to be burned. Like, I just felt like I had a bullet headed straight for me and I was taking one for the team. But looking back, I have reframed that as one of my greatest alpha moments. At times when I'm like, I suck. I'm like, you know what, Shallon? You took a bullet for people. You stood up for people who didn't have it in them, who were too anxious or whatever, or too oppressed to do anything. It costs you a lot, but you're proud of yourself. And at the end of the day, that is a win, to be proud of yourself. Okay, you lost a job. Okay, you got kicked out of that social group. But can you look yourself in the eye now? And that's that old school integrity. That's that like John Wayne, Wyatt Earp, Nelson Mandela integrity. It's like, I can look at myself and be proud of myself. And when we feel that, we're not only bulletproof to bullies, we're bulletproof to just run-of-the-mill people and their opinions. You think I'm a this? You think I'm a that? No. I actually have empirical evidence about who I am. I have evidence that I'm an alpha. And once you embody that, once you're like, no, that is who I am. I'm not a beta. I'm not just standing up for myself once in a while. This is how I move through the world. This is who I authentically am. Then that becomes habit. We get addicted to that feeling and we just want to create more of it. And then, ironically, we do become more bulletproof to people. So it's just one of those situations, if you're being bullied or mean girls or whatever, there is no perfect solution. But we kind of have to acknowledge, as unfair as it is, that these people are always going to exist. Always. They have existed since before antiquity, since the dawn of man. You have had bullies. And if we can't weed them out of society, we have to take defenses against them. Talk about cockroaches. Oh, Lea, you didn't know how right you were. For more, click like and subscribe. We're going to be doing so many more new videos. And like I said, I'm going to be doing one about my new life here in Montana. It's crazy, but I'm so happy. Anyway, if you want a video shout out, find me on Cameo and be sure to follow me on Instagram at ShallonXL.